we're back. And as I suggested before we went, Jim Morgan is here. How you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, Pete.
Thank you for your patience.
I'm just going to comment today on the Liberty Report. I was going to comment on the other one, but for some other time. I know you're a busy man. So on the Liberty Report, I listened to your opening today, to your show, and you're right. There's at least $30 million that is unaccounted for. When I say unaccounted for, it wasn't spent properly, and Hydro has not shown Liberty, who made the reports the last couple of days, that they spent it prudently, because I can name one, and I'm surprised it's only $30 million, approximately $30 million.
I'm surprised it's that much. I really thought it was going to come in lower, and that most things would be so kind of gray area that you could say, well, maybe it's a waste, maybe it's not, but this is a pretty damning report. It
is bad, and I'm surprised there's not more. Excuse me, because way back when we talked about the new generator, so-called new generator for Holyrood, I remember quite clearly the head man of Hydro, the senior person, came on the show. It wasn't your show, it was Paddy Daly in the morning. And he came on because we were demanding to know what they were paying for the so-called new generator. And the figure of $26 million was mentioned by him over and over, 2 or 3 times on that show, $26 million. And they had to add on the cost of installation. Now, I have documents in my possession, and others do as well, that the generator, a new generator at that time, would have cost exactly, he was right, $26 million, a new one, with a full warranty, a full manufacturer's warranty. And the installation fee from at least 4 different suppliers of generators, and I got it in my files as well right now for proof, it was $15 million for a 120 megawatt generator. $15 million. What did we pay? Now, I'm not sure we should blame Hydro. I'm blaming PUB as well as Hydro, because PUB gave Hydro a blank check. Excuse my rough voice today. It gave PUB gave them $120 million to go and get this generator. They also included, by the way, I know it's only small stuff, but they approved a $1 million finder fee. So it got paid to someone. We don't know who it was paid to. That was approved by PUB as well. And so they went down to the States and made a deal with this company. Never mind go back over that these days.
Well, they're hard to find. You can't just pick up the phone and call around and see where they're hiding to. You know,
I know.
It's worth $1 million to know that stuff.
We had a difficult time. I'm going to say a number of us who was checking into it to find the supplier. And then when we found out who the supplier was, he wasn't really the owner. He was a broker. But anyway, forget that for now, but the fact is, there's an example. A pub approved $120 million when they could have had the whole thing done for the cost, $26 million for the generator, and $41 million total, with $15 for the installation of the unit. Now, that's what the manufacturers of generators of this type was charging. They were doing it then, and to my knowledge, that's their fee now. So what are we doing wasting money like that? I mean, to me, it's unbelievable. Yes, they would waste it, but Liberty did not do enough work. They made a report. It was sort of damning on Hydro. Yes, agreed. But back in the corner, they can come back and say, well, look, the people of Newfoundland and your complainers out there, we were given a blank check of $120 million from PUB. Now, that's a real concern of mine. They would do such a thing. That the pub is our main body of regulation of this kind of an activity.
Now, generally the report says that the investment in this new CT is okay. It was a logical, reasonable thing to do. Forget about the cost of it for a second. They say that that's one of the things that they are a thumbs up on. It's a lot of other things they did in the wake of Dark NL that they suggest were, what's the term they use? Imprudent.
Imprudent, yeah. It wasn't prudently spent, that's right.
Yeah.
But now, in the meantime, this generator costs a lot of money. Our figures now show it came out to a total of about $129 million for that generator installed. That's what it came out to. So that was a bit of a waste there. But now also, last year that the consumer advocate picked up $1 million paid to him and his lawyer. I'm not condemning the consumer advocate. I met him a few times. Fine man. But they did pay, and I got the copies of the claims he put in and what PUB approved for him. $1 million last year.
Can we expect to get that service for a lot less than that? Do you think?
Well, I mean, $1 million. I only heard him on the radio a couple of times. Only heard him a couple of times complaining about the bills going up. Yeah. But anyway, he was paying.
Why are we paying him? Why are we paying him more than we have to?
I don't know. It's a good question. There's a connection to Mr. Williams. I won't get involved in that because the legal fees was included in that bill of $1 million. Uh-huh. But going back to the hydro again, if hydro is not spending the money properly, well, somebody in government here got to act. And the present government hasn't got much time, and they're the ones that put the whole thing together in the beginning, the PC party, the PC government. So they're not going to say too much. But unfortunately, in my humble opinion, the other concern which I really am concerned about, there's not much being said about hydro spending or now core spending by the man who wants to become the premier and the party who wants to become the government, the Liberal Party. Very little. I heard one man this morning who was now a good Liberal, and he's a very sincere individual. He's an MHA. He's complaining about what this money been spent, etc. Of course, he was a big supporter of Muskrat Falls and a big supporter of everything Hydro was doing in the past number of years. Forget that for now. What I'm saying is that there don't seem to be anybody coming to bring the whole thing to a head and say, you account for your spending because you're spending the taxpayers' money. The Auditor General is not saying a word. I don't know why, but he's not. And he can't say anything about Nalcor. We know that.
I have to say the indifference and complacency surrounding the waste of money sometimes is baffling. It's just like people expect it's going to be wasted, and when it is, they go, well, that's the way it goes. And are we that used to this being the status quo that we don't get upset anymore when our money is squandered according to expertise that we also pay for?
Yeah, I know. You see, the thing is, people don't say too much. Now, a few of us says a lot, maybe too much, but the general populace looks at it and says, well, they were checked out and they didn't overspend. A separate little report was made now from the overseer. But the thing is, they don't say anything about that. But when it comes to losing something that belongs to them, like losing the number of teachers in our classrooms, like the cutback on health care, and now the talk of this public-private P3, as they call it, that's going to be one big hullabaloo. It should be. But you know what? What will happen? The unions will kick up, and a few others will want to speak publicly, will speak up on the whole thing. But I'm convinced, as I said the other day to Paddy Daly, your other host on the morning show, I said, look, there's such a rush to this. They want it all approved before the middle of October, so they can go ahead with a general election, and when it's done, and we're stuck with a big, heavy contract in place for entrepreneurs together to come in and build these homes, and we'll be forever complaining about the bad deal we made.
I will be very surprised if the opposition doesn't pick up on this and see an opportunity to rally against something that seems to have some flaws to it, and to make an election issue out of it. And if it gets done by the middle of October or before the next general election, then I will see that as not only perhaps some suspect activity by the government, but a job not well done perhaps by the opposition.
Right on. I agree with you, sir. Take care.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me take my call.
No problem. Thanks again. Bye-bye.